Well, welcome back to another episode of Beyond the Bar with myself, Aaron Burns, and Mr. Colin. We are here today to talk about one of my favorite topics, which is actually your company.
Oh yeah, I'm biased, but I like talking about it.
Battle on the Beach,
Let's
man.
go.
So yeah, today we're going to talk about that. We've done some really cool episodes the past few times. We've talked about like wage theft. We've talked about making it in the industry. But I thought today it'd be really important to talk about your company. So for those of you who might not know, Battle on the Beach is a volleyball tournament. It's really focused on building community. It's for people in the service industry. Was it year 6 now?
Yeah, we just did year 6.
Year
Just
6.
completed Year 6.
It's honestly one of the coolest events, man. Like, when you first, I remember you coming like around to the different bars and like recruiting people 6 years ago. And
Where did I see you? How did you hear about it?
Batter's Box.
Was Batter's Box?
Yeah.
God forbid.
Yeah. So, you've built it into something really incredible. It's an incredible way to have community for bartenders. And I think that having that community is just so important on so many levels.
Yeah, I agree. That's exactly what I agree. I appreciate you saying those things. Thank you very much.
Anytime.
Yeah, man, it's my baby. I'm proud of it.
Yeah.
I started it, let's see, way back in 2017. The story of inception goes like this. I was working at Acme for 2.5 years at that time, and I remember that year in particular, there was like 12 cranes on Broadway, just putting up buildings left or right.
Yeah.
And I counted like 9 or 10 bars that popped up on Broadway that year. And coming from my background in the service industry and other places, I was like, man, there's so many people moving here, so many industry people moving here. No one knows each other.
Yeah. There's
a huge gap in community. And the background on volleyball tournaments with me was I opened up a volleyball league at the Goat in Mount Juliet and the Goat in Murfreesboro.
Okay.
And so at one point I was doing the Goat in Murfreesboro, the Goat in Mount Juliet, and then working at Acme at the time, which was like a triangle of shit traffic because God forbid 24 and 40. But
yeah.
Story for another day. But I had always liked to like sow chaos. So like there was a random tournament I did in Murfreesboro that I had the MPD, Murfreesboro Police Department, play the sheriffs versus firefighters versus EMS.
Oh, that's great.
And we raised a little bit of money for it was a cancer fund, and I wish I remember this fund right now, but we raised like $400 or $500 for a random cancer fund, and we cooked out hot dogs.
Yeah.
And I got to meet a lot of firefighters. We just had a good time, and it was for the sake of community. And I was like, at the end of the day, I think that'd be fun to watch all these, they kind of usually stiff uniform guys. They have like a lot of softball leagues and whatnot in those facets. But I was like, man, maybe we could just put a volleyball net between them, and they'll kind of know each other more. And that's the simplicity of it, right? So I counted a lot of new bars opening. I was just coming out of a relationship that was a little toxic at that time. And when you kind of find your voice after you've been in something, some toxic for a while, and you're like, holy shit, here I am again. And then you go into like some manic energy.
Yeah,
and I was like, I had a friend that was working with Stolen Whiskey at the time.
Oh,
she was sitting on the second floor in Acme, and I had this like sudden surge of like mania. And I was like, yo, would you be interested in sponsoring a volleyball tournament for bartenders if I decided to do something? I was like, there's this place that just opened up called the Sandbar that I think would love to host it.
Yeah.
I had no idea what the hell I was talking about. I was like, I think I can make something happen.
Right.
Yeah. So that year, there's an entity called Acme Radio. Acme Radio was like kind of, they have a radio station in Acme, and they provide a lot of the sound and marketing for Acme in particular. And I told the manager about it, and he was like, dude, I think we can do this. Like, I'll work with some other connections, or we can have one of our guys DJ out there, and we'll take some photos for you. I was like, dude, this is working out great. Went to the owner of the Sandbar. Her name is Leah. Love you, Leah. Went to the owner. I was like, hey, would you ever be considered on opening on a Monday when you guys aren't open, and doing like a kind of like a private bar versus bar volleyball tournament?
Yeah.
And she goes, I love industry people. She used to be an old Yazoo brewery rep.
Okay.
And she's like, I'm all for it. I'm for the party. I'm down. She was her first year she was open. She's like, I'm down for just bringing more people. The more the merrier. It sounds like a great marketing opportunity. I was like, love it. I appreciate you putting the faith in me. So, and she'll say it herself. The first year she was like, yeah, it sounds like a party. I want to do it. and so lo and behold, I started that year. I just went up and down to it was like 2 or 3 times that year, like this early spring. I went up and down bars on Broadway, and I was like, hey, I created these little flyers. I was like, hey, would you guys want to sign up for a volleyball tournament? And it was $300, but that was literally because I wanted them to put some skin in the game.
Right.
Because if you don't I hate to say it, I wouldn't charge industry people if I didn't have to, but
it's true.
Industry people, we're a little
you gotta have money.
We're a little ADD.
Right.
You got to put some skin in the game, and I want you out there. And hey, here's I got to pay the refs and whatnot out there. There's another reason for that, but the main part is skin in the game. Like, hey, hold yourself accountable by being out there. I think the first year was like, oh man, what I do it at like $150 or something like that. Okay. So yeah, first year $150. I was like, just put some skin in the game. Make sure you hold yourself accountable. Come out there. So we only had 4-hour slots, and the way I set up the tournament was like there was room for 16 teams, but I think we only had noon to 4 on a Monday.
Okay.
And oh god, what was it, like 12 bars ended up signing up, which was awesome.
Yeah.
There was
the first year there were 12.
First year.
That's awesome.
Well, I thought it was awesome. I was like, oh, this is fucking sweet.
Who was? Do you remember who was in the first year?
I know Whiskey Row. They were the cool kids.
Okay.
The cool new kids coming in hot. So like they'd bring a lot of people out, whatever. And Acme, Underground. There's a lot. None of the TC groups. I think none of them. God, man, Top Golf. Those nerds over there. They had like 300. The idea is pretty simple, right? You sign up your bar, you bring out all your staff. So as long as you have 6-on-6 on the court, you can bring whoever you want. There's beer and liquor sponsors out there that want to feed booze to people out there, of course, as they should.
Great opportunity.
Because they're in the industry.
Get some tasting,
exactly. And as long as you have 6-on-6 on the court in a co-ed setup, you're encouraged to bring out everyone.
Right.
Where people see volleyball, I see community.
Yeah.
It's not the greatest volleyball. By any stretch of the imagination. 6-on-6 outside the middle of a Monday. This was a Monday at that point. But I was trying to bridge the gap between bringing vampires out in the light, is what I say, and
the night walkers.
Yeah, the night walkers, and a community. And it ended up the first year I was just like, this is fucking awesome. Let's do this again. And I was definitely in it way more for the party than I am now.
Yeah.
As I was 28 at the time now.
Okay.
35. Yeah. So I was definitely in it for the party. And I still have that attitude, of course. That's the catalyst to getting everyone together. But now, man, like from then and now, there's a lot of meat and potatoes in between this one. But from then and now, we had the first year we had 12 bars on a Monday from 12 to 4 in the afternoon. I finally got smart because getting bartenders out on a Monday at noon is like herding cats. It's impossible. Holy shit. The amount of games I had to cancel at noon that people just wouldn't show up because they're hammered from Sunday fun days.
Of course.
What it is. And then this last year we just did 32 teams from 12:30 to 7 on a Tuesday.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's long.
It's a long day.
Yeah, I bet.
We'll talk.
Yeah, because you gotta do all the setup too.
Yeah, that's
you gotta
a lot
get
of that,
coordinate
man.
all the different brands. Yeah, it's a lot of work. I know.
It is. It's a lot more prep. It's like between Unites and I guess everyone here, it's a lot more stress. Unfortunately, the way it's kind of panning out, I kind of got to restructure a lot of things going into it on the back end and whatnot to make it easier on everyone, all entities, and make it make more sense on the back end. On the front end, it still makes a lot of sense, and everyone's having a good time. So it's all that matters.
Absolutely.
It's all about community, baby.
Yeah.
But now we're playing for different reasons and all that. So it's fun to see where it came from. It's fun to see where it's going.
Yeah.
I love it.
It's been quite a ride. A lot of fun to watch along the way.
Yeah.
So I think we should talk more about community. Why do you think community is so important in our industry?
Oh man. Well, I guess this goes back to why I created it in the first place. I didn't know anyone, and my simple primal brain at the time was like, that's not the way the industry should be. Hey, you come to my bar. Here's a fucking Jaeger bomb or whatever.
Right.
Sorry, managers. Here's whatever.
Don't sell.
Hey, I'll scratch your back. You scratch mine. Like, we're all in this together. We're all making $2.13 an hour on Broadway. You're in the trenches with other bartenders.
Right.
You're brethren and
camaraderie.
Yeah, you're in that frat sorority whatever environment. That's for the sake of community. Like it's super important in our industry. It goes a long way, man. Like you love when people come in the middle of your busy shift and you just had to deal with some shit customer or whatever have you, and they're like, "Yo, man, what's up?" And you're like, "Oh, what's up, dude?" And then if you're able to at your bar, they allow you to drink. You're like, "Hey, come take a shot with me. Let's take the edge off, whatever that looks like." And that was literally where my pea brain came up with it. I was like, well, let's get this going, huh? Because no one really fucking knows each other. But I also saw the power of sports, man. I grew up playing sports and all that, and Carson likes to joke with me. She's like, "Hell of a business model you got, Colin." Because I'm like, look, you put 6-on-6 in front of each other, and you booze them up, and everyone's half naked, and everyone's pretty damn good looking in our industry. They're going to have a good time.
Hell yeah.
Especially in the middle of the day with a DJ going and whatever have you and little mini games. Shit.
The mini games are great. We got to talk about that.
My favorite. I got my favorite picture of all time this year.
Did you?
Yeah, and it's Austin, my buddy Austin Sims.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? He's that dude. He's just looking. He's a comedian too, which makes the photo much better. He's just on one of those bouncy balls, just gas facing with a mustache.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
What's the name of that game again?
I don't know, it's a bouncy.
The bounce along, hop along, or whatever.
Yeah,
So you're gonna have to explain it for everyone who might not know what it is.
Okay, sure. In the middle of the games, if we have time, I do. Oh man, I hope ABC just cover your fucking ears. We put water in cups.
Yeah.
And people are expected to drink. Let's see, you put three participants, 3 emoji balls. Think of a volleyball court. They're all set up on one length of the court. There's 3 people behind them holding different water cups for them as well. So they are to drink their water at the start of this game. They're to drink their water cup, bounce their ass to the other side, drink a smaller water cup of
something else,
condensed water, bounce their ass back on this
stronger water
on this silly ass looking emoji bottle ball, and then drink the rest of their water when they come back that they're people are holding for them, and whoever wins, like a lot of sponsors out there give them a prize or whatever have you. But it's really Instagrammable. It's really fucking silly. And it's peer pressure is a hell of a drug. Yeah. If people don't like volunteer past a certain point, I'm like, hey, point your fingers to someone that you want to see on emoji ball. Like someone will be like, oh, this person, and then they'll be like, no, okay.
It's one of my favorite side games. I love watching it. It's so good.
It's so silly, man. I love it. It truly is my favorite.
Well, especially like in our industry where everyone kind of tries to look a little serious. You always look good. So it's fun to go look ridiculous.
Yeah. Okay, give me your ego and let's cut it in half, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's funny shit. But yeah, community is super important. I think at the end of the day too, like I'm just putting a dent in our industry here. That's massive in Nashville. Right. But I feel like the amount of people that come up to me every year and honestly, the amount of compliments I get that literally are the driving factor for me doing it year after year after year are, hey man, we look forward to this event every single year. It only lasts 6 days out of the year, but like we're in it. We're gung ho. It's my favorite time of the year. Like I look forward to. This is the biggest industry event that I look forward to. Yeah, and I'm like,
I think it's the biggest industry event in Nashville for like of that kind.
Yeah, man, which is kind of a shame because there's so many service industry people in Nashville, especially new ones that like. Oh yeah, man, service industry predominantly in a lot of other places is a lot more cliquey and tight knit, and I feel like Nashville's still. I don't know. Maybe this is my take. Yeah. And maybe I'm just trying to, hopefully drive the needle the other way and get on it more. But like, it's still sundered. It's still like fractaled.
Like clicky.
Yeah. Just everywhere. Clicky. Right. I don't know. It's hard to explain. Like, there's different types of bartenders that don't mesh with like a lot of the Broadway bartenders that show up to down on the beach. Like, I've been trying to get East Nashville bars in for years. I think we covered this.
Never had one.
No, I fucking never had one. No way. I think we covered this in a different episode where I was like, I'm trying to get those motherfucking mustached sons of bitches out there. But
just tell them there's free chartreuse.
I got Fernet out there making Fernet snow cones.
No shit.
I still didn't see many mustaches.
All right. Goal for next year then.
Yeah, next year. Next year is East Nashville. That's our target market.
All right. Let's see it happen. Well, yeah, and going back to community too, I think in sort of a broader sense, I think one reason that community and being connected is so important is there's a lot of mental health issues in our industry too.
Yeah,
You know, a lot of people. I mean, we deal with the stress, the work hours. I mean, you know, we've worked 20-hour doubles.
The rampant alcoholism.
Yeah, alcohol. Yeah, it's true. Yeah,
Fuck, man.
a lot of abuse.
We were just talking about the statistics in Next Culture coming up about alcohol and all that, and how alcohol truly is statistically on the decline. And I don't know about you, I see it at the nightclub often. I'm like, man, these 20-somethings are not drinking as heavy as they once used to.
Right.
Or maybe I'm getting old. I don't know.
Probably a little bit of both.
Out of touch, as Antonio says.
Yeah.
Out of touch. I needed that.
Yeah. Well, and having that sense of connection, I think that really it makes you feel like you're a part of something, you know, and I think that can really be really helpful, even though it is a drinking event. You know, I think anyone who might be struggling with those, you know, abuse issues, just having a community of your people around is really important. I think you can feel supported, and there's you got friends, you can get help. There's a lot of great organizations that do work for mental health for people in the service industry as well. I think, is it Peace for the Day? Is that the one I'm thinking of?
I'm not familiar.
I forget the name of it, but they're there. I mean, and it's really important, I think, to not get too isolated in this industry, because they've done tests on highest stress level jobs, and ours is one of the top.
Yeah, man.
And I think too, it's just because you're dealing with. I've always felt this about bartending. You're dealing with people at their best and their worst.
Oh, for sure. Spectrum of
exactly.
Emotions. And at their rawness.
Yeah. And you see a lot of stuff too. You know, I think like the amount of times I've seen some pretty intense stuff happen in a bar. You know, I've seen people get, you know, shit kicked out of them. I've seen people cheating on their wives, their husbands. You just see people kind of living a very unique life.
Yeah. Unfortunately, you know, a lot of that is the culprit of alcoholism.
It is.
And alcohol.
And sometimes it's fun, you know, like obviously we've all had amazing bartending shifts where it's super fun. Everyone's great. You have like the best customers ever. People are tipping, you're feeling it. And then you have those days where it's just like, maybe you're not even not busy, and you got like 2 shithead customers come in, just give you shit all day. And, you know, it's a stressful job. And I think, you know, kind of bringing it back to the whole community thing, it's just important to feel connected. Yeah. And it's important to feel supported. And it's so good to have that sense of camaraderie and, you know, like you're part of a team. And that's why I think, you know, Battle on the Beach is such an important part of the Nashville bar scene.
Yeah, I love how it does. I appreciate you saying that again. I do love how it naturally, through the power of sports, it does naturally engage that community and that team building. And when I nowadays go to bars with the Flyers, nowadays it's just a formality. Right. I have the Flyers with me, and I call it running the gauntlet. I ran with, I did it with Clay this year. Yeah. We went to, I think it was like 42 different bars, right, with all the Flyers. Yeah. Dude, 9 out of 10 bars that we walk into, the bartender will be like, "Hey, what's up, dude? You want to do a shot?" I'm like, fuck. Yeah, here we go. Pace it out for a week or two. It's like an 8 or 9 hour endeavor, and it is messy at the end. Oh, I bet. But it's a good time. Clay and I had a blast. But nowadays it's a formality, which is awesome. Yeah. But people are like, "Oh, it's that time of year." I'm like, "Let's fucking go." You know,
yeah, everybody knows about it. Yeah.
I signed 32 bars up in a month, and it's great. But yeah, you know, back to the original. The natural power of sports and getting out there in community and social and engagement, like people are drawn to it, and it's volleyball, especially the catalyst. I love how it's volleyball. A, I love volleyball. B, it's a sport that's very approachable. Everyone thinks they're really good at it.
I definitely am not. Like, I played as a young person, but like not to the level of some of the people like yourself.
It's always funny to see like people that, you know, need to be humbled.
Well, yeah, I played football. I was like, and it's such a different skill set. Yeah. So like football, it's like, you know, you're doing some stuff that's really hard, right? You're hitting hard. You're, you know, it's all about sprinting and, you know, all sorts of different skill set. And then you get in the volleyball court, and I feel like, you know, I've got 2 left feet.
Yeah, exactly.
Sure, I look like it too.
Yeah. But while I'm thinking about it, actually, this is kind of random tangent, and it was a learning moment for me, big time, in the last few years doing this event. I had a guy come up to me at, this is probably like 2:30, 3 in the afternoon on a Tuesday. Mm-hmm. We're out there. It's week, I think 4, because I'm getting on the microphone. I'm like, "Hey guys, the refs are calling stuff a little bit tighter to prepare everyone for the playoffs and the tournament, the very final day, right? So, going to have more whistles blown, you know, more following the rules. We're all getting used to volleyball. We've all let a lot of things slide, you know, for the sake of having a good time out there." And this one guy comes up to me. He had just lost the first game, clearly, because he was pretty amped.
Yeah.
And he goes, "Hey man, is kick serving legal?" And I go, "I know who you're talking about." And truthfully, like I play open beach volleyball, and truthfully, I didn't know this answer. I was like, she asked me 2 months before if it was legal, and I was like, you know what, you can drop it and kick it, and it's a lollipop of a serve. If you can't return it, like look inward. So I was like, yeah, I know who you're talking about, and in this league it is. And he goes, well, it's not in the official beach volleyball rules. It's not. And I was like, well, okay, hold on. If you want to go down this route,
let me consult.
let's look at this next play that's happening, and I'll tell you what's definitely not allowed in beach volleyball. And I started like every touch.
Let me check the instant replay.
Yeah, every touch. I was like, that's not allowed. That's not allowed. That's not allowed. But in this league,
I think I remember you doing that.
Was
that like, this year or last year?
This last year.
Okay, I think I remember that.
I was like, it's allowed. And like at this point, we're going back and forth for like 5 minutes, and people are like kind of listening to it because we're right by the benches. Yeah. And he goes, well, it's not. It shouldn't be allowed. We got to redo things. I was like, dude, hold on.
Yeah.
I was like, it's 2:45 in the afternoon. It's a beautiful Tuesday. There are 4 beer and liquor sponsors shoving booze down our face.
Yeah.
With 6-on-6 sand volleyball.
Choose your battles.
Yeah, which is not supposed to happen in beach volleyball.
Right.
I'm like, yeah, it's not exactly the most competitive league. And he goes, yeah, but I'm competitive. And it took, for the sake of community, every bone in my body not to be like, well, maybe this isn't a league for you. And I was like, no, man. I have to draw the line somewhere.
Right.
I have to bridge the gap between community and sports. And I was like,
it's like it's good to be competitive, but sometimes you can take it too far. And I know that's kind of the one thing I did really enjoy about the league was just there was a sort of informality to it that is like approachable, right? For somebody like me who's never really played much, and then but it's cool actually getting to play alongside with some of these people who are really good. I know like there's some pro level players, right? Not like super pro, but like they've played at pro levels, right?
There had been one. There'd be Chris actually 2, Rob and Chris Ferguson. Yeah, they play. Okay. I think they played like AVP qualifiers and whatnot. So they're not like, they haven't made it to the tournament or anything like that, but they're still really good. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Not wasted talent, I'll tell you that much. Yeah. But it's funny about 6-on-6 volleyball too. It's like, again, why it's approachable is like, it takes one mess up to blow everything. Yeah, you can't have a good hit without a good set. You can't have a good set without a good pass. So like any one of those components can fuck up the whole balance of everything. So a lot of these teams, like they're like, hey, can we play with 4 instead of 6? I'm like, not in this one. If you got 6 people, get them out there because they're like the more competitive, and that's actually where I'm seeing a lot of the shift go for doing this now 6 years. Mm-hmm. Hampton Social's won 2 years in a row now, and now they have like, and I love their drive and their passion for it. Like they would not have passion for volleyball without Battle on the Beach, which I think is fucking beautiful because now they're all invested, they're all in it. Multiple teams are showing up.
Yeah, back-to-back champions.
Yeah. Dude, last year, Hampton Social would show up 10 weeks before the tournament started on Tuesdays in the middle of the afternoon. I didn't even know about this until I came with my computer doing I was doing some work. I was like, I think there was like 60 people out there. There's 4 different bars. I was like, this is fucking awesome.
That's cool.
And like, I never really thought about it like this until my friend Rachel was like, Colin, literally, they wouldn't be out here if it wasn't for you. And I was like, that was a pretty humbling moment. And like, it felt really good because I set out to do what I wanted, which was create community. Whether that's what it looks like or that's what people realize they're doing, at the end of the day, we did it. Yeah. And that's the structure and that's the foundation. We can build on that more and more and more. Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. And if we can do it here, man, hopefully we can do it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Take some legwork and Nashville's so damn unique. The bars are so big, so the bar versus bar concept works great here.
It does
because everything's Jason Aldean's has
right next door to each other.
Jason Aldean's has 100 fucking staff or whatever. How many people you got, Antonio? How many bartenders?
Somewhere in the neighborhood of 60.
Who's counting? And you only get 6 out there every week? Shit. That's a lot. It's crazy. 60 bartenders, right?
That's wild.
And then, so another tangent, you and I went up to, talking about expansion, you and I went up to Louisville. Mm-hmm. And I had, Baxter Jacks had 3 courts right in the heart of downtown. Awesome, beautiful location. Everything shut down on Mondays. Yeah. Really dope spot. Beautiful location. They were like, this is awesome. We love this idea. Let's bring it on. Let's go. Yeah. We started going to the bars. Found out the bars are tiny. They had 5 people on staff and 1 bar back or 1 security or whatever have you. I'm like, well, we'll have to change the format, do team versus team. But even at the end of the day, too, that so fractaled. So
it's a lot less what's the word I'm looking for? It's a lot less like centered.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
condensed.
So
yeah.
Yeah, and it really depends on which city you go to, and I think there's kind of a critical mass, you know, for I think you have to have a certain population. Like I'd say probably Nashville is honestly probably the smallest that you could go for a city to have like that kind of bars.
I agree with that too. But Nashville's unique in the sense of like every big fucking bar is in one area.
Yeah, and
so you have that natural sense of community that comes from that, but also you have the stuff like that on the beach that creates it more. And
it's almost more of it's one of the main industries in Nashville too. You know, it's people come here to drink. It's tourism. It's what we do. Yeah. So I think if you find cities that where you do have that sort of critical mass of bars, where you have like Vegas, I think it would work there. You know.
Yeah.
I think it would work in Miami. I mean, New York. I'm sure. I mean, LA. You could probably have 9 different competitions going at one time.
Yeah.
You know, same with New York. You'd probably have to do one per borough or something like that.
Yeah. That's another challenge for going to a different place is you know, because of all the bars being spread out, all the areas being spread out. What makes sense?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, and some people don't have the same relationship. That's one thing that I think is so unique about Nashville service industry is because, like you said, all the bars are close to each other. So the amount of times we've gone out after work and just rolled to the bar next door, you know.
See batter's box, baby.
Oh, yeah. batters for the win.
I love that place.
Yeah, dude, that's one of those like classic Nashville institution bars.
Dude, I really don't. I haven't seen. I don't know if they have any shelf life solidified in stone right now, but it's gonna be a sad day when I hear that. Like the Hermitage Cafe closing.
They're still holding on though.
God,
I mean,
absolutely. Hold on for the Billy.
Absolutely. But yeah, I think the one thing I think is really cool about Battle on the Beach is I do think it's a really scalable, you know, kind of concept. I think you can go a lot of different places, and I think it's something that should, you know, or at least things of that nature, because I think, like we've mentioned, the importance of community. It's really crucial. And I think having that sense of support, and it's almost like a professional organization, you know, like in most industries, and I mean we talk about this all the time with bartending, we don't have a lot of the structure that a lot of other industries have.
Absolute chaos.
I mean, people jump jobs, you know, 4 or 5 times a year sometimes, and you lose those tight-knit groups. There's not really like a professional development plan, because bartending, you're pretty much just sales, you know, and you can only do it till you can do it as long as you want. I don't think I could do it in my 40s or 50s, but
dude, I feel you on that. We can talk about
that.
It's
coming, man.
I'm hurting at 35.
Well, you know, I started noticing it last year for myself. It was just like the 20-hour shifts had just taken their toll.
Oh God, I can't do those anymore.
And then the heat too. Like Nashville gets hot during the summer, and all those places are open, so there's not like AC. And it's just like I was so tired last year.
I had I was working Saturday night on Point, and on Canteen. It was a Speedwell, busiest well in the bar, and it was a 95-degree night. And I was sweating face, and I could feel my ankle like. I was becoming one of those aggro bartenders. Yeah, I was, dude. Without the steroids, I was being one of those aggro bartenders. Getting a little snappy. I was eye rolling. It's not me. I'm not an eye roller. The heat was getting to me, man. Yeah. But it really does. That shit affects you. Doubles affects you.
It does.
Talk about mental health.
Yeah, that's a topic for another day. But yeah, but I honestly think that Battle on the Beach has the potential to, you know, help with the mental health issues in this industry. And I think, like we've said, it's
a Band-Aid at the very least. You know, it's a step in the right direction.
Well, at least, you know, you have a centralized location where bartenders are going, you know, and if you can connect people to, you know, help, and even just even like small things, just like getting out in the sun. You know?
Yeah, bringing vampires to the light.
So you work at night. You know?
Yeah, seriously. I mean, it's stuff like this, what you and I are doing right now. Like, I hope this hits, you know, 15 bartenders in Nashville a year. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? And then hopefully this is relatable to them, and you know, we all get more sense of community out of that. They're like, hey man, I'll listen to you. Awesome, cool. What do you think about it? Do you know me now?
Yeah.
Like, do we know each other? Like,
well, yeah, and that's another thing we didn't even talk about, the networking aspect of it. You know, as far as if you're looking for a job, like that's the spot to go.
Yeah,
you're gonna find all the tea, so to speak.
You're damn right.
Yeah, you're gonna know who's gonna
be that person is gonna do a no call, no show tomorrow. I can take their job. No, I'm kidding. No, absolutely, dude. There's plenty of bar managers and whatnot out there. GMs. Steve Smith. showed up for 4
Did he really?
hours. The last
No shit.
the last day.
Wow.
He was like, what made you come up with this? And I kind of gave him like the short spiel. He's like, it's a genius idea, son. I go, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Smith.
Mr. Smith, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, it's a great opportunity. For me, I feel like when I first came to Broadway and then we started doing Battle on the Beach, it was just great to meet everyone, really just get to know everybody downtown, because I had been working at the Omni bar lines for a long time. So I wasn't really as connected to the downtown crew. And then when I came to Assembly and then to Casa after that, it was, it was just a great way to get to know people.
Yeah, great segue, right?
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember you had played with bar lines.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Well, no one showed up, I think.
No one showed up. You, Max, Sweet Max.
Yeah. Who else was on that team? Antonio, were you on that one?
I don't play volleyball.
Okay.
Fighting words.
Too short.
You do all the sets, man.
But
Yeah.
it's a great segue. It's a great. Hey, shout out to anyone listening to this that's going to come next year. Great way to meet people.
Great way to find jobs.
Great way to find jobs. Yeah. Freaking A, man.
Yeah. No, I love it. It's really a really great opportunity. And actually, honestly, a lot of your work kind of inspired what I'm doing with 10 Life too. Just because you're seeing all these people, in one spot. And I'd had the health insurance idea for quite some time. Then understanding that, build the community first, and then you can build solutions that way.
Yeah, dude. Right on.
So just being around all that and just hearing like the day to day, what people are dealing with, what the pain points are, and how to just make this industry better for everybody. I think that's really important. And that's something that's really important to me too. It's because we just talked about the lack of structure, and we've always talked about like health benefits, health insurance, and how challenging it is to come up with answers to those questions.
Yeah.
And for me, a big way of understanding what the needs are, just getting out to events like that and just seeing what people go through the day-to-day stuff. And then another important part of that too is people talking about, there have been some issues. We talked about this in the wage theft episode. A lot of times people start to understand when they just talk to more people in the industry that, that was happening to me too. And that's how problems like that can get fixed.
Yeah, so man. I mean, we've talked about this before, a little segue, but one of the main reasons I would love to talk to a service industry lawyer, get him on here, be like, just ask him 10 questions. Hey, is this legal here? Is this legal here?
Yeah.
Is this legal here?
Yeah.
It's, all these little things that we kept.
Right.
Do we essentially get fucked over with at $2.13 an hour, right? Because
there's
a long list.
Cash heavy industry.
It's a long list.
Not a lot of paper trail. It's tricky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, thriving in chaos.
Absolutely. That's what we do.
Yeah, but I would love, I really got to get the engine rolling on that one. Getting some kind of, what's funny? I do know of one service industry lawyer, and I was advised by someone else. They were like, well, he backs up he works with most of the bars downtown.
Oh, okay.
And he wouldn't feel comfortable coming on him
asking
asking questions because it's
fair.
a direct.
I was actually curious about that. Yeah.
So then you have that. Then you're like, oh man, well, what are we gonna Can we get like an honest lawyer in here that's gonna fight on our side of not multi-million-dollar companies? Like, you know what I mean? So.
Yeah, I hear you. Well, yeah, and I mean, the thing that is so great about having that battle on the beach, having all that ability to talk to your coworkers. It's the same thing with any industry, right? Talk to your other coworkers, talk to your colleagues, understand what's going on in the industry. Yeah. And I think that's something that, particularly in bartending, is a little harder to do, because there isn't that formal structure, and it's a unique industry. And we've always talked about that and how many opportunities that can provide, but also how many challenges. And I think having that sense of community, having that, nucleus to build around is really important. So that's why I've always been a big fan of what you've done with Battle on the Beach.
I do sincerely appreciate that. Thank you very much.
My pleasure. But I think that'll probably do it. Wrap it up for today. Do you have any final thoughts that you wanted to talk about?
This is going to be, hopefully I can speak this into existence because me and my buddy Mike are going to work on it here in the next few weeks. I've been talking about it for years, a little dodgeball tournament. Like you have...
Okay.
People have always wanted me to do this is going to be a little long-winded, I'm sorry. People have always wanted me to do another season, like an end of the year, another volleyball tournament. Well, there's such thing as too much of a good time. And I say that in the sense of like whenever pool season starts to open, everyone's always out at the pool.
Yeah.
And then in the dog days of the summer, when it's as hot as it can fucking be, no one's at the pool.
Sure.
or they're all pulled out, or they're all, there's the ebbs and flows of, especially Nashville or nature and frequency, whatever you want to call it, about, oh, well, spring is here. It's time to blossom, right? And different part of your personality comes out. Sun's out, you get more vitamin D, you're a little happier statistically and scientifically.
Sun's out, guns out.
Yo. Everyone's losing weight, we feel good. And then I did one fall league, and what happens is you had all these people that were like, yo, we're absolutely going to do it.
Right.
Half the teams did it. The energy was considerably lower.
Interesting.
And then at the end of the day too, when I have only half the commitment, I have photo guy, insurance.
Well, yeah, you're covering all those costs.
There's plenty of costs out there.
Right.
There's 7 different costs to cover every single day out there. That a lot of that is covered with the beer and liquor sponsors that would like to get out there in front of bartenders, as they should, and market to them. But if I devalue them with promises of the summer and they're not, it doesn't send. Not only does that take away from the novelty of the whole 6 days, if we're not in, we're out,
right,
kind of deal of I want the gung hos, I want their people every day, more people the merrier in that sense, right? I want the bells and whistles on it for 6 days instead of just watering it down for the rest of the year.
That's fair. That's a fair point. So
it's
thinking dodgeball instead. Is that the
I'm
idea?
thinking dodgeball instead. I've been talking about this for a couple of years, and people have always wondered about going to kickball or softball. Well, I'm like, well, kickball doesn't really work for the community aspect because people are so far away from each other.
That's fair.
And it sort of does because you can chirp at people and whatnot.
Right.
And it's approachable. What's more approachable and a little bit more silly.
Yeah.
Brandon Aquino used to work at the HQ in Chicago. Shout out the HQ in Chicago. And they did, I guess he was talking about in the back parking lot, they had some huge dodgeball tournament every single year that it was had a really good turnout for industry. I was like, that's fucking awesome, man. Would you ever want to do something down here? And we've always talked about it, never executed it. And I think what I'd like to do is do it either at Sandbar, take the nets down for one day, have an all-day, 8-hour double elimination tournament with dodgeball, 15-minute segments of whatever that looks like. I think it'd be silly.
You want to talk about it getting competitive, though.
Yeah, oh, God.
Dodgeball. Yeah, someone's going to get beamed right in the head.
I'm into that. Hey, they got to sign the waiver.
Definitely need a waiver for that one.
Definitely a waiver for that one. And you know how they did they used to have Whiskey Jam, or what is now Whiskey Fest, out at Losers in the parking lot there? That's a conversation I have to have with them. But man, if they could just keep that up for one more day and surround that with,
that'd be awesome.
Oh, that's such a dope setup right there. That'd be really fucking cool out there, and have people on the balconies watching. That'd be so sick.
Oh, that'd be wild.
So again, I'm hyping myself right now, speaking that into existence. So hopefully we can. But that's something, that one-off, one-day thing that I'd love to do in the fall, and or an industry prom, Jameson's. What the hell? What happened to Jameson's balls? Right?
What did happen to it?
I don't know, man. They
didn't do it.
They just don't care about us anymore in Nashville. Maybe they gave so much money to the bars to get on their menu that they don't have enough for the bartenders here. You know what I mean? Okay. Nashville's so pay to play. That's a story for a different day.
Yeah, we should talk about that one. I would love to.
I'd
love to hear more about that.
Highly illegal or anything. Not that we care, but it is what it is.
Yeah, fair enough.
It's fucking capitalism at its finest.
True that.
Sorry, thank you for listening to my TED Talk. I'm so positive today. It's crazy.
I love it. Sassy. Well, great. So, dodgeball announcement hopefully coming at some point soon.
Hopefully, yeah.
Definitely be looking forward to that. I will absolutely have to attend that event.
Yeah, come on back.
For nothing else, for pure entertainment. I would love to see that.
And community.
Absolutely. Yeah.
We're going to blur the lines there somewhere.
All right. Well, thanks again for talking about Battle of the Beach, man.
I appreciate you asking me about it. Man.
I think it's one of the best events for bartenders in Nashville. And I would love to see it in some other cities down the road, too. So hopefully we can see that in the future. We'll maybe see that dodgeball expansion. It'd be awesome.
Get me hyped. Let's go.
Well, let's fucking go.
Let's go.
Cheers.
Cheers, guys. Y'all have a good night.
Thank you.